Hey guys, Akask here, and for the moment I want you to imagine this is back in 2002. Right now it's 2002. Attack of the Clones just came out in theaters, and I'm 11 years old. So naturally, what do you think I asked for my birthday and Christmas that year? Lightsabers. So I asked for those, and of course I got them. The collapsible tube Hasbro type ones. They're basically giant flashlights with colored blades over the top of them. So, yeah, I got an Anakin one and an Obi-Wan Kenobi one. I ended up getting two of the Obis because one broke for some reason, and that was back in the Phantom Menace. So I ended up getting that twice. But I still, fought with them and played with them with my friends. And basically started to play with the idea that Obi-Wan and Anakin could ever fight together. Because they do it in the episode 4, and episode 3 had not yet come out, so we kind of did some Obi-Wan and Anakin fights unknowingly, realizing that that's what it was going to be later on. So we did that, and yeah, it was pretty fun. Being that age. Of course, now owning real lightsabers, they actually are a lot more fun because they can't break easily. So, why am I saying this? Because here's my prophecy. This is clearly an Anakin style. And here's the one I'm reviewing now. This is an Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber. This is the same one that you see in Attack of the Clones and in TPM. Alright? The only difference between the two, really, is this screw. That's not in That's not in a Phantom Menace. It's just this, so it's pretty smooth. But they added this, I guess, for decoration or something. I don't know. It looks cooler. So it looks nice. I like it. Fulfills its purpose. But yeah. So first off, my first impressions of this was this lightsaber is as gorgeous as everybody says it is. It's just awesome. I mean, I'm still getting over how nice this is. It's Obi-Wan's first lightsaber. I mean, what can you say? I mean, the detailing here is really nice. How it's got this 3-step recessed. I guess you could call this a crown. Alright, and then of course the red anodized button. That's not really a button, it's actually a set screw. You can twist it. Doesn't really do anything until you've got a blade in there. So, of course, CoverTech wheel. It's black, unlike all the rest of mine. They're all probably silver. Except for Darth Vader's. I think the one on my Darth Vader is black as well. And of course, your pommel. I'll go ahead and remove that right now. Oops. Okay, I will start by saying this pommel is a 3-piece, and I'll break it down for you really quick. Alright, so here's how it comes in pieces. This is a collar that has it's just kind of a collar. It's just a piece of nicely machined aluminum. And for those that own a Guardian, or not a Guardian, but a Consular, I've actually seen this being used as a bit of more of a neck piece. So people screw this into the top of their sabers and then screw the emitter of the Consular into this, so it adds a bit more length. But I might not do that because this pommel is awesome. Alright, so here's the rest of the pommel. So these cubes are on a ring, and they are fitted into these little slots here, so it appears seamless. It appears absolutely seamless. In fact, I mean, it's just machined. It's just a perfectly machined pommel. If I can get this back on here. But yeah, I mean, this is a really gorgeous pommel. And this design for the speaker holes are slightly different than what you see on the website. They've changed it to this, which I think that's like the Scorpion style holes. Either way, it looks nice and it works. and this is probably one of the nicest pommels that I own. I mean, it looks weird on other sabers just because it's, you know, it's designed for this. Alright, so while I have this out, while I have the pommel off, let's take a look at these. This is the Obsidian soundboard, of course. And as I stated in my previous video, this is probably, well, as I've yet to experience other boards, this is probably my favorite board right now. I mean, I would like the Crystal Focus, Crystal Shard, and whatever Plector boards. I think the Petite Crouton, but those are ridiculously expensive, and getting sabers that have those equipped with them aren't in my budget. I'll have to stick with the Obsidian for now because it can still change sounds and do what all the other ones can. Alright, so I'm going to share with you guys my boot sound. Yeah, this is not the actual Episode 1 font. This is just the most fitting boot sound I found for it. For a while there I was using the Clone Wars one, where it's Yoda saying begun the Clone War has. And I think at one point I did a different sound as well. Maybe the standard Obsidian. But yeah, let's fire this up and see how it sounds. I believe this is activation 3. It's the quickest one that doesn't have any other interfering noises in it, but it sounds pretty crisp and clean. Of course, I got a blade plug in there. The clash sounds are very appropriate for the sound font. Oh, and this is Ninja Jesus' Obi Kwai, or Kwai Obi, however you want to call it. His Episode 1. So I like this font. This font just works for this saber. It is a little on the quiet side, but I don't mind that. But I really wish some of the sounds were a little louder, like the hum was a little louder, the activation and deactivation sounds were a little louder. But I'm going to go through some of the lockup sounds I have on here. That's your saber lockup. Some of the Droidica effects I have on here. Force push from Darth Maul, but I like to do that with my characters, so I like the force push. If you have the saber, you have to put that on there. It's part of that scene, of course. I mean, you could just pause combat and play that, and then it just give each other menacing looks. That's just awesome. And of course, there's that lockup again. More of that. Force push again. So basically, I got Droidica sound effects, the saber lockup, and the epic music lockup. I don't have any blaster deflection ones, just because this is a theme. This is my themed saber. I have this themed to this character. So here's the power off effect. And while this is on, this little screw here, there's 3 of them on each side of the saber. Those are actually accent windows. So you got one there underneath the set screw, and then you got another one here. So that's 3. But if you wish, you can take off this jeweled screw here. Here, let me clean this off a little bit. It's dirty in spots. Probably should have done that right before I started this. But, yeah, if you take off the jeweled screw here for when you're doing a TPM look, that's also another window. Alright. But, because I actually like this, I'm keeping it on there. It looks nice. Alright, so, because I'm about to take out the blade plug here, let's unscrew all these. And this is the blade plug that I ordered with it. So, you know, it's one of those standard ones. They do their job well. In fact, I prefer these over everything else. Alright, so here's the inside of the emitter. This is a very deep blade socket, actually. I think it's about 2.5 or so. I know it could actually be a 3. It's about a 3-inch socket then, possibly. That's probably the deepest blade socket I've ever had for a lightsaber. But here, let me do this really quick. This is what happens when you look into these things, and this is why you need a blade plug. The reflection of that on the glass actually blinded me for a little bit. But yeah, don't look directly into these things. Alright, so to show you what it looks like with a blade in there, I'm gonna demo 5 different blades for you with the lights on and the lights off. Alright, starting here is going to be my Ultra Edge that I got with my Prophecy. This is the mid-grade blade, so these are 1.5 outer diameter. So these are your standard, classic thin walled blades that every sabersmith and manufacturer sell. Alright, there's nothing special about these. These just do their job in making the saber look good. These are very well performance blades, or these are show blades. These help you show it off. These aren't dueling blades. You could do light dueling, but on a video by Rob of Genesis Custom Sabers, where him and a buddy tested these things out to see how much stress they could take with the heaviest dueling, this thing got crumpled with the heaviest of strikes that they did with that. And that's when they were really wailing on them. But, I would still be careful with these due to how sometimes different blades are made. If you duel with one of these and it's not another mid-grade blade, you could see tips flying off, or you could see damage to the blades. I have dueled with this blade against a Saberforge Infinity Edge V3, and of this lost its tip, and I still haven't been able to find it. Alright, so without further ado, let's see what this looks like. This looks really good on camera. Wow. I mean, this definitely has a lightsaber look. The tip doesn't fully illuminate for some reason at certain angles, but if you look at it dead on, oh yeah. Alright. Alright, well, this thing is active and I'm spinning it around. I don't get why people say this saber is so unwieldy. It's such a beast. Like, people say, oh, this thing is too huge, it's too fat. Well, you know what? For an Ultra Saber, this is not bad at all. You know what? I mean, if you are doing a comparison to the actual 1/1 scale prop, then yeah, I could see where this would be a little oversized. I think it would be about a 1.5 scale, or maybe a 1.25 scale compared to the actual thing. So it is a little big compared to the prop, but as an actual lightsaber, okay, yeah, I will admit this is my heaviest hilt, this is my longest hilt, but it is by no means unable to be controlled. I mean, on my unboxing video, I was whipping this thing around like it was nothing. That's because I'm used to it and everything. So, that's this with the lights on. Let's see what it looks like with the lights off. Beautiful as always. Yep. So, I plan on getting another one of these just to see what the new one of them looks like, because all the new UltraSabers blades have deeper tip sockets. So I can't wait to see what those look like. All right, next blade will be the new UltraSabers mid-grade. That would be another 1.5 inch outer diameter blade, just a regular mid-grade as well. And here's what I mean by has a deeper tip socket, about 1/4 inch versus barely. Alright. Oh, and this is on a 5-watt system. Yeah, this is for people who care about wattages, these LEDs are 5-watt. Alright, these are very bright for being one LED systems. I mean, you could tell just how much this thing is blooming right now. Yeah, this is what it looks like normally under everyday conditions, everyday indoor lighting conditions. I have 1, 2, 3 fluorescent lights on right now, and it's this bright. Everybody sees this through their camera when they're taking pictures of it. Alright? And when you get lights going off, they'll see this. Again, this almost has the same look, except for this has a slightly thinner core. This is probably the movie style, because this is a translucent polycarbonate versus the trans white polycarbonate. Yeah, this is completely clear. Alright. Alright, so let's get this out of here. Using these 3 set screws. It helps give you a feeling of extra security when you have them in there. Okay, so moving on, this is a 34-inch Z-blade, and the tip is now permanently fixed. I have just put Loctite on this the last time they flew off, and I will tell you, the second first of all, I put an entire ring of Loctite around it using a brush applicator that comes with it. It's $5, but you know what? I do not regret a thing, because the second I put the tip back in the blade, it stuck and bonded pretty much instantly. And I tried to pull it off, tried to twist it off, pretty much everything. Nothing doing. So next time if your tip flies off, Loctite. None of that stupid crazy glue crap, because that's what failed the last times. Alright? Just throw that out of your mind right now. Crazy glue will not fix your tips. Loctite will. Alright? So, here's this one. It's, oh, and I should say the specifications on this blade, it is a slightly less than 1 inch diameter. So, that's why I've got the black tape on the bottom, because it just does not fit in there without wiggle. Alright. That's not a bad thing. That just means you have to do a slight modification, like that is. And these are about 2mm thick blades, so they're slightly thicker. They can take some abuse. So these are very, in essence, hybrid blades. In fact, this has almost a halfway appearance between a translucent and a trans clear and a trans white. Alright, so, and of course it has a rounded a round bulleted tip, which normally are pointed, but this is a rounded. It's really nice. I mean, I like how it looks, which is like this. Yeah, the tip does kind of do that a little bit, but this is just in light. In regular light, it'll look like that. But as soon as you turn the lights off, yeah, you can't even tell. But it does that slight flare up at the end just because of the polycarbonate of how that is. It can look slightly phallic, I will admit. Not as phallic as some other blades used to look with those same sort of tips a while back. But this does look really good. I mean, it's probably not my brightest blade, but it still looks really good. I mean, it has a good weight to it. It's got a good length. I like the 34-inch blades. They are, you know, they're very well. They look very well, good, and the distribution of the weight is pretty nice on these for any of my sabers. And yeah, these are just really nice. Alright, now we're gonna step it up and go into a heavy grade blade, into 2 different heavy grade blades. So I showed you 2 mid grades, and now I'm going to show you 2 heavy grade blades. Oh, and the Z blade. So this is UltraSabers 32-inch heavy grade blades. These are 3mm thick, and these are the quintessential dueling blades. Alright, these are the ones you could smack around and you will not be able to break very easily. The downside to these kind of blades is they are heavy. They do add a little bit of more weight to it, but if you get 34-inch blades, they won't be too bad. You just have to get used to them, and in fact I would probably practice with these, as they require a little bit more precision to move around, just due to, if you're spinning them, due to how much heavier they are. Alright. So these are very much so as bright as all the rest of my blades. Just due to the thicker type of tip they have here, it is not as it does look a little bit I can't really describe this, but it looks like the light just gets blocked at almost the end of the tip there, but that's not an issue because we're not looking at all the tips all the time. Let's see what this looks like in the dark. Very nice. And this is the heavy grades. They still retain these nice laser blade looks. I will admit, these are just, yeah, these are really nice. This is the first time I've ever had these, and they did not disappoint. Alright, so the last blade I'm going to do is another 32-inch. And this is my Infinity Edge. This is probably the heaviest of all of my different blades. Probably because mostly this tip here. But this could also be a 4mm thick, as I think these may have two different thicknesses. Yeah, this appears to be maybe a 3.5mm thick, as opposed to 3mm that these are. So, if you want to do some extreme training, yeah, use these. And especially get the longer ones, because that will definitely make a difference. And these are slightly trans white, and depends on how much film you have in there. They create different looks, I guess. This is my repaired one, so I guess this is a practice blade. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, it's not as bright. I think I might have used either too much film, or that this thing is just this blade is just designed for like those excessively bright 12-watt sabers that they have. But then again, 10 feet of film. So yeah, this is definitely not my brightest blade by far. So let's see what this looks like with the light on. Well, it still looks decent, but there's not as much bloom. But I could take it or leave it. I'd only use this if somebody else had another saber forge blade, just so I could match with them, and I wouldn't be using this saber with it. Probably put it in my prophecy. But yeah, there we go. Alright, sorry this took so long, guys. I know I've been talking about it forever, but finally got to doing it, so there we go. You got the review. Yeah, give you one last look over this, and here's a little bit of the groove detailing. Not as deep, but they do look good. And I will say, these AV switches, I think I'm gonna get these for every single one of my lightsabers because they just look gorgeous. Especially the non-lighted ones. Like, if you want to get a lighted one, sure, go ahead. But make sure you get the ones that only turn on with the saber and aren't on all the time. So therefore Sith can't see you coming a mile away. Yep, I stole that. Sorry, guys. But yeah, there you go. Hope this has been my review of the UltraSabers Guardian and Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber. Alright, thank you for watching. Hey, Scout, and happy sabering.